Hello and welcome back to the channel, and it is the return of Formula 1 F1 2019, and we're in Spain for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's returned after a short absence. We did some GT Sport videos recently and decided to switch it up a little bit and go back to Formula 1 2019. So we're in Spain. I don't know if you remember the previous episodes. Go check them out if you haven't seen them already. We not had the best start to the season. Some issues with the car development, and looks like Red Bull have really outshone everyone. So into qualifying, we've decided to go on the medium tyre for our first outing, and that was because medium tyres have much better tyre life. And the softer compound, so we're just hoping for the best. We've had a bit of an off here through turn 3, but I have held it together. Into turn 4, too much of the grass on the inside, and that sent us spinning the wrong way, locking up all 4 tyres. Not the best way to start a qualifying lap. We back it up, but there's a Ferrari just behind us, so we have to be really careful not to take them off the racetrack. So through the final corner, that first effort can be chalked off, and let's give it a go for a second flying lap on this set of medium tyres. Verstappen goes fastest. It's a very big ask to put these medium tyres, again we've gone off through turn 3, to put these medium tyres through what we're doing. We've gone purple in the first sector. Big slide there. Really big slide. Through the hairpin, following the Ferrari. I think that's Vettel ahead of us. Definitely gained on the Ferrari this lap, but it washed right out there. You see the fuel indicator light flashing away. Critical on fuel this lap. Through the chicane, the Ferrari pits distracted me just a little bit, but back on the power through the final corner. DRS, and that puts us provisional pole position.
You've just put in the fastest lap. Good job.
But let's see what happens a little bit later on in the session. Devon Butler actually goes fastest with Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, and then myself. So the top 4 all British. It's good to see. Just I'm in an R in whether or not to go out for another run, maybe switch onto the softer tyre. And temptation got the better of me, so you're about to see us go for a second attempt, this time on the soft tyre. And here is that qualifying lap. So as you can see, we're up in the green on the top right hand side of the screen, braking at the 50-metre board, turn in 4th gear, back on the power as early as you can, upshift early to 5th gear. This time we're flat out through the right hand turn 3. No understeer, much better balanced on this set of tyre. So purple through the first sector. What will the second sector bring us? We've gone a little bit wide through turn 5, now into turn 6 and 7. Again a little bit wide, a little bit sluggish going up the hill. Now the fast turn right hander. Had to lift just that little bit. Now into the hairpin, brake just at the 100-metre board. Purple again. It's looking like a really good lap, but is it going to be enough to beat the Red Bull? Oddly enough, Max Verstappen appears to be in 5th place, so not sure what's happened to his pace this weekend. Devon Butler goes fastest again on 1:19. Can we match that, or can we improve on that? Through the final corner and across the line, but where does this place us for the race?
Okay, good job, mate. Really.
Today I wonder. I hope we see some tight wheel-to-wheel action down the main straight. Circa Mansell and Senna way back in.
So, Spanish Grand Prix Season 2 is about to get underway. It's looking clear, no chance of rain, which is always nice. There's been a lot of action at this racetrack over the years, as Crofty was saying. Mansell, Senna on the old circuit, which didn't have the chicane. But hopefully we can get a result today. And as you can see, we've taken pole position only by a 10th. So lucky there. Devon Butler starts second, Hamilton third, Lando Norris picks up fourth place, and the rest of the grid lines up as shown. So looking for key charges from Charles Leclerc. So let's get ready for the race. And we are green in Spain. We've had a bit of a shocking start once again. Hamilton's had a fantastic run, but he's been boxed in. Devon Butler's got us. We cut to the inside. Get a late lunge from the outside of Lando Norris. A little bit of contact between the two McLarens. But we're through, still in second position with Hamilton third, Norris fourth. It's Red Bull McLaren, Mercedes McLaren. Would have liked to have kept the first place, to be honest, but
That start was okay. Now stay alert for threats around you.
have to acknowledge that the Red Bulls are very quick off the start, as are the Mercedes. Could have been a little bit more aggressive on the brakes possibly, but the start phase is over now, so we have to push with what we've got. Through the fast right hand with full fuel. Lewis has got a tremendous run. We go defensive to the inside, Lewis to the outside. Surely he's not going to make the move there. We cut him off and keep our second position, but this battling is allowing Devon Butler to get away from us. On to the second lap. Butler goes for fastest lap. Hamilton to the outside. Can we keep him there? Yes we can. We slam the door in the world champion's face. And as we come across the line to begin our third lap, it looks like it's all settled down a little bit. Butler sets the fastest lap, but we've gone just that little bit, but we can go that little bit faster. There was action all through the field. Fifth place battle between Lucas Weber and Max Verstappen. Weber second place in the championship, fighting first place Verstappen in the championship. That was a great battle with Weber coming out on top. Little bit of understeer creeping in with the front tyres beginning to go. Big lock up into the second part of the chicane. Now through the final corner, starting to struggle.
We're leading our teammate by 5.3 seconds.
So we've got a large gap over Lando. 5 seconds there. He seems to have just fallen back in this race. Coming towards the end of lap 5, this has been a better lap. We've gone purple in the first sector, green in the second sector. We're staying in touch with the Red Bull in front of us.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
And we've just set fastest lap for good measure too. Okay, in this lap, we need a very good in lap. You see the Red Bull's just edging away from us ever so slightly.
Box this lap, please.
And you see our in-lap's not been great. Red first sector, red second sector. I think the tyres are past their best. Now into the pits. Can we get a good stop? Hoping for a sub 2 second. Don't quite get it. 2.5 seconds. Not perfect. Where will that eventually filter us out into? Hopefully we're not in traffic. Hopefully we've got some clean air
We're doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
to really catch the Red Bull. But that's not to be the case. We're stuck behind a chain of 3 cars who are all battling for position. We close up to the back of Antonio Giovinazzi. We've got to get the move done. We dive up the inside into the hairpin. Be careful not to take up Robert Kubica from the Williams ahead. We're through. Got to try and get through these guys as fast as possible, not to lose time to the race leaders. And Lando pits.
Lando is coming in for a stop.
Just see Lando update. He's going onto the medium tyres. He gets held by the racing point, and as all this is happening, we're battling Robert Kubica. We go to the inside, down the straight. DRS is open. We have to move a little bit to the right. You can see Lewis Hamilton exiting the pit lane just ahead of Alex Albon in front of us. So we've lost time to Lewis. He's actually jumped us in the pit stops, which is not ideal. We close up to the back of the Toro Rosso, trying to look to the outside, but he's closed that gap already. So we go to the inside, but Alex has closed that gap as well. Nowhere for us to go. definitely got the overspeed on the Toro, so we dive to the inside, but there's no space. Lock up the front left. And that's it. You can see Lewis just edging away ahead of us. We really need to get past the Toro, so. And this is the problem when you pit earlier than everybody else. You end up getting stuck in traffic, which is why I wanted to use the medium tyre. We go to the outside, get stuck behind him, but a late one up the inside, and we make the move stick. Lewis Hamilton, our next target.
Gap to teammate behind is 9.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in 16th.
So yeah, you can see how much that pit stop affected Lando's position in this race. He was running 4th, now he's 16th. You see Lewis has gone around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo into the hairpin. Now this is crucial for us. We've reached the back of the Renault, which has been terrible this year. We have to clear it as quickly as possible into the chicane, the worst possible part of the track to get traffic. And we've had a terrible, terrible run through into the final corner. Can we use that Renault engine to catch the works Renault ahead of us? The answer to that question is no.
We're leading our teammate by 11.0 seconds.
Heavy on the brakes. We're going to have to do Daniel Ricciardo under braking. Missed the last of the late breakers himself, so we get a nice run through turn 3 to the outside, but that was shut off. So we go to the inside. Now brake as late as you can. No contact and the move is done. Next up, Lewis Hamilton. A lot of understeer behind the Mercedes. Caught me out a little bit with the dirty air. But definitely got the bit between our teeth. Definitely. This podium position isn't going to be taken away from us. We are going to fight for it. We could have had a podium in China. Could have had something in Bahrain. But it wasn't to be. Even Azerbaijan, the win could have been taken away from us there. So we're not going to let it happen here. In the DRS zone, behind the Mercedes. Look to dive up the inside, but we're way too far back. Now through the final corner, beginning lap 12. We've got a fantastic run. DRS is open. Obviously the Mercedes has fantastic straight line speed. But we're in the slipstream. We go to the inside. Lewis covers that off. There's space to the outside. We dive round the outside. 2 wheels on the tarmac, 2 wheels off the circuit. But the move is done. Next up, George Russell of the Williams. We must get past these guys and build a gap to Lewis, because when these tyres go off, we're going to be a sitting duck. Cut back to the inside. Really lucky not to have contact there. So we had a lot of understeer. And let's just have a little look at that overtake again to the outside of the 6-time world champion. Heavy on the brakes. Respectful driving. We were given the space and took it. Now we fight with our rival Charles Leclerc. A little bit of contact between us as we jostle for position.
Nice move.
But we're through. Up to 3rd. Next, Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. All over the back. Very, very worn medium tyres on that Ferrari in front of us, so it's very, very easy to get past. DRS.
Gap to teammate behind is 15.7 seconds.
DRS on the straight, and now we look at a Lando update. Lando stuck behind the Toro, so it's not been a great race for him. He's been all over the place at the back. Unfortunate, but I think that pit stop ultimately is what ended his charge to the podium.
Butler ahead. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 23.8. You're dropping back by around 2/10 each lap.
So it appears the Red Bull has fantastic race pace. And Devon Butler has checked out in the lead. I would imagine he is cruising to his second victory of the season.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Tyres are beginning to go off. Our scheduled pit stop was lap 20, but a little bit of calculation in my mind, thinking Lewis is probably going to get us before then. So our best bet is, and the amount of understeer there is unbelievable. So we box, new tyres, this time the hard compound, just to ensure we do get to the end of the race. We exit 5th place. Now is the time to push, regain some of that lost ground, and hopefully we can emerge back in a podium position.
Butler's in first place. Some information on Hulkenberg. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car. Virtual safety car, virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta.
Okay, so we've just taken Valtteri Bottas, who's pitted, a virtual safety car for the retirement of Nico Hulkenberg. Another technical fault for the Renault team. Lewis is now in the pits. This was our time to strike. Are we going to emerge in front of the silver Mercedes? That's the question. Listening for the V6 turbo to go past. That is one of the cars. That is the McLaren. We are through. Back into second position. Now we just need to keep the silver car behind and build a little bit of a gap. And as you see, we're purple in the first 2 sectors. The final sector isn't perfect, but it's green and gives us fastest lap, which is also the crucial extra point. Can we just hold on to this, get to the end of the race?
Gap to teammate behind is 38.2 seconds. They're on old hards. They're in 12th. The time last lap was a 1:25.0.
It's not great to see Lando outside of the points. Obviously McLaren need the points to cement 3rd place in the Constructors. So it was a nice controlled back end to the race, beginning our final lap now.
This is your final lap of the race.
Hopefully we can hold on to this. Lewis is closing ever so slightly each lap. The question is, will he catch us towards the end of this? And the answer is yes. Lewis Hamilton is right on the gearbox of this McLaren, but it's too little, too late, and we're through the final corner to finish a respectable 2nd place.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
Today's winners, the team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently.
And that's the podium scene. So 2nd place. Obviously, I don't think we were quick enough to catch the Red Bull at that time. I don't know what Max was doing during that race, but I'm grateful he wasn't near the front. So to recap the results, Devon Butler wins, we are 2nd, and Lewis Hamilton 3rd. Charles Leclerc picks up 6th place. Obviously, he's our rival, so we're going to keep a little eye on him. And Lando Norris didn't get any points, finishes 11th place, with the 2 Renaults bringing up the end of the field. So it'll be really interesting to see what that actually does to the driver standings. So it's still a Red Bull 1-2. We rise up to 8th above Lando, and Charles Leclerc still sits in 5th. Still sits towards the top in 5th. Looking at the back end of the table, the surprise there is probably Sebastian Vettel in 13th place. You'd expect the 4-time world champion to be higher than that. And we are in 3rd place in the Constructors. So what I will do is leave the Formula 1 content here, and up next is GT Sport, the Livery Challenge, and a midweek lobby session. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.